I'm Michelle Delana. I live in Chicago. I'm 20 years old, and I'm from Jiaoqing. I'm an ambivert, so I'm a little bit introverted and extroverted. Um, I'm creative, um, trustworthy, dependable. I was adopted when I was 8 months old. I don't remember the exact name of the orphanage, but it's undergone a renovation, and the old orphanage that I was adopted from no longer exists. They've got a new location in Jiaoqing. I believe it took around a year. I'm not sure about the exact time, though. I'm an only child. I only have three immediate cousins. My dad's side is Irish, and my mom's side is Italian. When I was younger, I used to want siblings, but around like when I was 13, I was just like, only child is fine. Everything's fine. um, I mean, it's something that I'm aware of, but I don't think it really changes how I view my family.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Whenever immigration or some sort of political debate about that pops up, then they both actually agree on a stricter control, and they criticize when people don't speak English in public. But I really don't see myself as Native American born because I'm not. So I identify with immigrants, and I mean I speak Spanish too from school, so I don't see a problem with other languages other than English. Um, Well, across the street from me, we had neighbors who were from southern China, not the exact place I'm from, but sort of nearby. Mother and two adopted daughters. So compared to maybe some other Chinese girls, they looked sort of closer to me, so that kind of helped. Like when we went out for concerts or whatever, then I'm pretty sure everyone assumed that we were just one big Chinese family or something. But then when I talk to some of my Chinese sisters and they talk about things like how random Chinese people will come up to them and start talking in Chinese, and they'll have to say like slow down, I don't actually speak Chinese, then that's something that hasn't happened to me very often or at all, really. I went to a Catholic grade school and high school. My Catholic high school was single gender in another white neighborhood, suburban North Shore. And now I attend University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Um, they offered me a lot of scholarship money, and I'm in engineering, and U of I has a good reputation for engineering. I applied to a lot of selective schools, and I only got, even though my test scores were within the range of having a good chance of getting in, I only got into a couple of my top tier choice schools. I got waitlisted at a couple, but I don't know. I wonder if I had not put down that I was Chinese or Asian, if that would have changed any of the admission decisions. Um, I mean, it wasn't anything. I was aware that I was Chinese and different from the largely white population of those schools, but it didn't really change how anyone else treated me, so just let it be. Um, well, my parents both work in healthcare, so I chose bioengineering because it seemed natural to just improve the technology that they were using. And I've always loved music, so piano and music will always be one of my interests too. Just that there's always things that can be improved. There's always new ways to do things, new technology out there waiting to be discovered. In high school, I mostly focused on things that would have brought me to an engineering career, so that's where I am right now. I still love music and I'm going to continue with it for the rest of my life, but we'll figure out how things will work out. I've always known. Like, we had, like, the kids' picture books that like, introduce kids to the concept of, like, going to China and bringing you back. So, it's always been something that I've known and owned up to. Like, I didn't really notice it when I was really little, but anytime anyone would give questioning glances or just my name, I have an Irish last name, but I'm Chinese, so I mean, people get curious. They're always really open and always willing to talk. If I ever had any questions or anything, they were approachable. And I think that's really the most important thing, just to be open and honest and willing to take any questions. In high school, I started running cross country, so a lot of my friends came from there. And I fell in with a very Irish friend group, actually, so that was pretty interesting. There are friends that I met when I went back to China, and there are friends who I was adopted from China with, so I keep in touch with them. Mm-hmm. And across the street from me is another girl who was adopted from China, whose mother is Chinese, so I think I have a pretty good balance between, like, Chinese, non-Chinese, adopted, non-adopted friends. I went back in 2013, and we started in Beijing, then we went to Guangzhou, we visited Jiaoqing, where I was adopted from, and then we ended our trip in Hong Kong. And while we were in Jiaoqing, we got to visit the orphanage and our finding places. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing the culture, all the different places, the fact that Jiaoqing is considered a small city of 3 million people. So... just a little bit more of peace about where I came from. Because I've always wondered what China was like, and it was just really cool to see what it is. A little bit, yeah. A couple of Chinese people actually did remark that I looked too tan to be Chinese. But then others said that I looked Southern, so I suppose there's a mix. Positive. I'd like to go back someday, if I could. Probably just visiting. I've always wanted to learn the language, but I don't know it at the moment, so... That was the main thing that I came away with, but just knowing that my birthday is my true birthday is pretty special, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one in my adoption group who actually knows. I am, but I also know that the odds of actually finding them in a search are incredibly low, so... I mean, I would think about trying, but I know it's probably not going to happen. I don't have any ill feelings towards them. I mean, they wanted the best for me, so... I still run, even though I don't compete in cross country. So I'm a runner, I play piano, I enjoy drawing, and reading. I can solve a Rubik's Cube. I love being in cities. My favorite season is winter. I was born in December, so that kind of carries over. And it just, even though it's colder, it feels a little bit more cheerful with the Christmas and holiday seasons. I mean, personally, I'm fine, but I know children not being raised by their biological parents raises a lot of questions. So, I don't know, I guess it would just be easier to know who you are that way. Um, I mean, my family is always important to me. They're the most important people in my life, but at the same time, you know that you don't share blood with them, and even though they are your family, there's still that one little thing that sticks out. So it's something that you don't really forget. It's not something that I can remember in recent memory having been asked, but if for people who ask like why didn't your biological parents keep you, I feel like that's not something that you ever want to really think about or be asked. So not having to deal with that would be nice. Um, my best guess would probably just be the one child policy. I know it's a little different for like rural areas, but I'm not sure if that applies to Jiaoqing or not. So that's probably why I was put in an orphanage. Um, I mean, you're not. It's not going to be easy to undo those effects from the one-child policy, but it's a step in the right direction to be lifting the restrictions. I would just say, if anyone who's adopted has any questions, any doubts, any thoughts that they need to say, then just say them. Go talk to someone about it. Don't try to keep it inside.